Hi guys, today I'm going to talk to you step by step about what you must do when a client asks for a discount. Now this is a pretty important topic because if you've been working long enough, you're probably quite used to by now clients trying to haggle you down or ask you for a discount. It can be a difficult situation to know how to handle, so I'm going to go through a few different scenarios with you, and we're also going to begin with some quick tips and a bit of insight into how you should think and feel about clients asking you for a discount. So let's jump straight in. Firstly, why you shouldn't be offended when men or clients ask for a discount. That's generally, especially with people who are more new to working, I find the initial response is that when someone asks for a discount, for a girl to feel personally offended or annoyed or pissed off. And I'm going to talk to you now about how you should think about this differently that will actually result in you being more likely to make money than not. So firstly, don't compromise your own mindset by thinking negatively about it. The second you start to think negatively, it will be portrayed through your communication, whether that be in person, via text, or via email. You don't want to do that. You want to be confident, you want to be happy, you want to be flirty, you want to be fun, even when the client is being annoying. So don't start things off on a bad note by immediately going to being aggressive or angry because a client has asked for a discount. Secondly, you can use this as an opportunity to further demonstrate how valuable your service is and why they should book you. Now, this will really set you apart from many other girls, and this is a really great opportunity for you to set yourself apart and show that you are different to other girls and have more to offer. Most girls, when presented with this situation, either won't know how to handle it or, like I said, will handle it badly. If you can firstly handle it with ease and skill, and also do it in a positive way, that will really set you apart, and the client will be even more convinced to want to book with you. Lastly, and this is, I find, the biggest hurdle, when a client asks for a discount for this type of service, because it is one of an intimate nature, I know that girls tend to get a bit upset to think, how could they possibly think that I would discount my price when I'm providing them with sex? What you need to understand, though, is that even though the service we're providing is of an intimate nature, you are still choosing to provide that service in exchange for payment. So by doing this, you are agreeing to it being a commercial exchange. So you have to remember that it's very normal for people to try to negotiate prices in a commercial situation. So don't take it personally. Often as well, this comes from clients who are not of Australian descent, especially Indian clients, sometimes Asian too, because in their country and their culture, they're more used to negotiating on price. This isn't a negative reflection of you or them trying to insult you. This is just how things are done in their culture and normal for them in a commercial setting. So just remember that even though we are providing an intimate service of an intimate nature, we are still providing it in exchange for payment, which makes it a commercial situation. So you can't, on the one hand, want for things to be commercial and be paid for it, but then also on the other hand, say, oh, this is so intimate and personal, I can't believe that they would do that. So just keep that in mind. All right, some quick tips on how to handle this situation. It can be a little bit daunting when you first get it. So I just want to assure you that firstly, getting it right will take practice and that's okay. You might stuff it up a few times, especially when it's in person with the client, because you won't be as used to thinking on your feet. You won't be as well rehearsed. You won't be as composed. Via text and email, it will be easier because you can just save in a template all the messages that I'm going to give you today, and then you can just copy and paste them to your client. But at first, especially in person, you might stuff this up a few times, but that's totally fine. Just move on and go straight on to the next client. When you are discussing payment with a client, even though they're asking for a discount on your rate, you need to shift your own focus and then also your clients from focusing on price and dollars to focusing on their experience, the quality of service, and the value for money that they're going to get. So when the client is asking for a discount, they're thinking about price and money. We don't want to sell to our clients based on price. If you sell that way, there will always be another girl who would just come straight along and give the client a lower rate, and you'll lose your client. What you want to be focusing on is your experience and quality of service. What is the client going to feel when he's with you? What is he going to get from you that he wouldn't get from other girls? What amazing things are you going to do together? When you focus more on that, the price becomes less relevant and clients will be more willing to pay for the satisfaction that they're looking for. Even if the client is being rude or pushy, if you respond in a light-hearted and cheeky, flirty, or playful tone, you will diffuse the situation and be more likely to get him past the price conversation while also agreeing to pay your rate. Like I said in my previous page, if the client asks and you respond negatively or to be aggressive or angry, it's not really going to serve you. It's going to make him want to probably argue with you more or to just not want to book you at all because he's now seen a side of you that isn't sexy or fun. So if you respond to just be lighthearted about it and to be confident and cheeky, he will like you even more and he'll be more willing to move past that and onto other things that you talk about because you're going to lead him past that point. Getting angry or upset will only be more likely to end in you not getting paid. So this is really important to remember too. Even though you might be very right to be angry at the person for asking you for a discount, especially if they're doing it in a rude manner, getting angry actually won't serve you. What you want is for the client to book you and pay you money. The second you get angry or upset, you make that possibility even less likely. If he still doesn't want to pay your price, you can be creative and suggest other scenarios where he pays less yet doesn't perceive your value as being less than it is. So if a client doesn't want to pay $700, he only wants to pay $600, you can do a few things. You could perhaps offer that service with certain parts of it not included. So if, say, for instance, it's a GFE and you usually offer an uncovered blowjob, you might say to him, look, I'm willing to do that price, but I'm not going to do an uncovered blowjob. It will be covered. So he realizes that he doesn't just get a discount because he's asked for it. He's paying less because the quality of the service will be less because less is included. You could also simply shorten the time. If he doesn't want to pay $700 for an hour, you could say, why don't we do 45 minutes for $600? It will be the best 45 minutes of your life. Another tactic you can use is that you can also ask for a review in exchange for a very small discount. I like this one because you really want to be working on getting reviews to build up the quality of your profile. So the client can see that you're not going to just give him a discount, you need something from him in exchange. And I would only make it a small discount for something like that. Lastly, if you don't secure the booking, that's okay. Just move straight forward to focusing on other clients. If you get to a point where you've used all the responses that we're about to talk about, the client's still arguing with you, especially via text or email, you can just say to him, no problem, let me know if you change your mind, and move on to texting other clients. Don't waste your time with a client who has demonstrated that he just is not willing to pay. Okay, so response number 1 can be used via text or email or in person. And this is typically a response to any wording of a nature of a client asking for a discount. So if a client says something to me like, I don't really want to pay $700, will you do it for $600? This is exactly what I will say in person or via text. Mr. Client, the only time I discount my rate is when I also discount the quality of my service, which is something I would never do to you. I know you came to me not for the cheapest experience, but for the most high quality, fun, and satisfying experience you could find. When you meet with me, that's exactly what you will get. So why this works is, like I said in my previous page, we want to focus on not the rate, but on the quality of the experience. So I've said to him here that the only time I discount my rate is when I discount the quality of my service. And I've added, which is something I would never do to you, because I'm trying to make him feel a little bit special there. And then I've gone straight on to tell him exactly what sort of experience he's going to get with me. And also to remind him why he came looking for the experience to begin with. Not because he just wanted the cheapest thing, which is what most people don't want, but because he wanted the most high quality, fun, and satisfying experience. When I say this, I generally find that this is where the price conversation will end. Is if I word it like this, I very, very skillfully get him to stop thinking about the rate and start thinking about the experience. And then I'll go on to talk to him about all the things that he wants to do together, what we're going to do together. So I just buffer that. But if you use this response, generally this is where the conversation about price will end. Response number 2. I understand how you feel. Other clients of mine have felt the same way before they met with me. However, what they found was that once they did, they were so blown away by the fun and satisfying time they had with me that they only wished they had met with me sooner. Now, I really like this response because we are drawing on social proof that other clients have been in our current client's position and that what they found after going ahead with the sale was that they were super happy about it and really satisfied and had heaps of fun. Now, I will further enhance this by adding afterwards, especially when I or we, and I will try to insert something that the client has already mentioned that they want to do. So if my client's initial text was something like, I'm looking for a 1-hour GFE with lots of kissing and a really amazing blowjob, I will now reference exactly how I will do that for them. Again, I am reminding them of the kind of experience that they wanted to have, and I'm not focusing on the price. And I'm painting a picture in the client's mind of the experience that they could have with me if they book me and they go ahead with the sale. I generally use response number 1 first, but if that doesn't work, then I will add this on. If they're still umming and ahhing about it, oh, I've never paid that much before, your price is a lot higher than other girls that I've seen, that's when I'll add this on for them, because I'll let them know that, you know what, you're actually not the first one that's felt this way, but this is how it ended for them, and it can end like that for you too if you just pay me my money. Lastly, if my response 1 and 2 doesn't work and I have a client who's just being persistent, they're being rude, they're being annoying, they just won't let it go, before I totally just give them up and think, oh, I'm not going to bother with this guy anymore, I will use this line. You are a very cheeky and persistent man, I can see that. However, I know you're a gentleman too, and a gentleman like you would never make a lady like me feel uncomfortable by continuing to ask questions I had already answered. I know you said you wanted to try a BBBJ. Would you like to feel my secret deep throat technique too? So, this I'm basically using to try and put the conversation at a total stop in its tracks about the price and explain to him that I'm not really going to talk about price anymore and move again straight onto the quality of experience we can have. So I'm wording this to be polite yet clear about what I'm trying to say. I can see you are cheeky and persistent, meaning I can see that you're being a little bit annoying and you won't give it up. However, I know you're a gentleman too. So remind him that even though this is a business conversation about money, you're also a gentleman and I am a lady, and you're now making me feel uncomfortable. That word uncomfortable I find is really powerful with men. They don't want to be perceived as making you feel uncomfortable. It's kind of a passive way of showing them that they're being threatening to you. Most men are very conscious of being threatening towards women because of the way they've been brought up in society, is that they know that they're the more dominant sex. So when a man is perceived as being threatening to a woman, that's generally a bad thing. Now, we don't want to use words like threatening because that's too strong, and the client will most likely get annoyed because they'll now think that you're overreacting, which using that term would be an overreaction. But we're using a passive term of showing them that they're not really treating you the way that you want to be treated, but we're also being polite and playful about how we say it, but also final. So I've said here, by continuing to ask questions I had already answered. So I've already answered your question. I'm not going to talk about anymore. But what I will talk about, and I go on here, is to give them a little snapshot into what they could experience with me if they decide to book. And pretty much after this, I will leave it there. If I get another text from a client with anything other than, okay, let's go ahead with the booking, I'll either ignore the text or I'll just say to them, I understand how you feel. Let me know if you change your mind. And I just show them that I'm not going to participate in this conversation anymore. So guys, there you have it. I can't wait to speak with you again soon. Give all of those things a try. Remember my quick tips at the start and remember the sort of frame of mind you want to be in when you're having this conversation. And also remember that this sort of stuff takes practice because it is a more tricky question to handle, but it does come up more often. So the faster you get good at this, the better you will be at closing your deals and getting paid more money. All right, see you guys.